Alright, so here's my newest project, and I got it clamped up right now. So you can see it's like flattened at the end, and the reason I did that, well, I used my torch with the cutting tip. First I took a piece of rebar and I heated it up and I flattened the head to be smushed, almost like a railroad spike. Picture how it's like that, smushed like that. And then I took my grinder and sharpened it even more, and then I heated it up with my torch again, so it's red hot, and then dipped it in the oil, so it's really it's hardened now. So it's still pretty hot because I didn't do it that long ago, but it's really hard. I tested it on just like scratching stuff with it, and or scratching like files and stuff, and it's really hard. So, and the whole idea behind this is to make one of these chipping hammers, but not the dumb Harbor Freight kind with the really crappy wire brush on it, and not the squiggly handle, which actually I'm tempted to cut this off and use the squiggly handle just because they're usually like that. And I know you guys are probably thinking, why don't you just go to Harbor Freight and buy a cheap one? But just because one out of rebar would look sweet, and just because I felt like it, so that's pretty much it. Pretty nice, pretty clean cut, and you know, the torch. So I might take that, cut that weld, and then use it up to there. So it wouldn't be very long, but you don't need it to be. But I still think I'm gonna try to just make one out of just some 1/4 inch stuff, or like all my junk down here, and my scrap stuff. Just a simple handle. So I'm gonna get to it right now. Now the end part is finished. Nice and nice and pointy now. Hope you can see that. And now I'm gonna heat it up with the torch again, and then quench it in the oil. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so we're ready to go here. Got the oxy fuel torch ready. Gotta grab my goggles, and then we're going to begin. So, like always, Harbor Freight torch, great piece of equipment, love it. Now the reason I'm using the cutting torch is not because I'm going to cut it, but just because I had it on and I just didn't change it, so that's why. I want to get this to a nice, even cherry red. See, the point is starting to change. I'm going to back it off a little bit. You want the whole thing to be real nice and hot. Everything really hot. I'll get the tip one last time because that's the part that I need the most. Grab it and really smoky. And don't worry if this catches on fire, because it happens when you're doing that. So if it happens, just know it's coming. Now it's pretty good. Smells like a nice outboard when you're having problems with it. It's exactly what it smells like. Burning oil. So just take off the goggles, and I'm gonna wipe this down, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so there's the near finished product. It's got the nice flat, like pretty sharp, not too sharp obviously, but sharp enough to chip slag, and it's still pretty warm. But there's the pointy part, and that flat spot I ground out for where I'm gonna weld my piece for the handle. I still don't know what I'm gonna use for the handle yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. But I was thinking of doing a railroad spike, just because it'd be cool, and I thought of using the oxy-fuel torch to twist the railroad spike, because if you look, I mean, I could just use this chunk of a railroad spike and have it like that, but I don't want to do that. I'm gonna get it full one. But what I would do is twist it right here, and so that, because I chopped this up for fun, but let's say the railroad spike's like that, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but it's faced like that with the tip like that, and I want it to be like that. I want it to have the tip the other way, so the flat spot is going with the hammer, but this thing is facing this way. See what I'm saying? So I want it to look like that. I could just weld this back together, but it looks stupid. So, and a little twist would be kind of cool. So maybe I'll use the torch and I will twist it, and then I would have a nice handle. So I'll get back to you when I figure out what I'm going to do. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to heat this up with the torch right here, and then I'm going to upset the head, and then when I find the length that I want, I'm going to flatten it so it'll be easier to weld to the parts. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so here's the finished product, and like I said, it was real simple. I just took my oxy-fuel torch and cut it, and then upset the bottom and welded it with the Easy Make 100, and heat treated everything, and that's pretty much all there is to it. I already tested it on a weld right here, and it seemed to work great. So definitely convinced that it works. But like I have said, it's really not something that can not work. It's sort of like, oh hey, it's a little thing with a pointy thing and a thing with a flat thing and a handle. So that's really all there is to it, which is why it's a good first project for any beginner, which is why I would recommend it. This is just 5/8 rebar. You can buy these at Home Depot for $1 something, 2 feet of it. So you do that, cut it up with a hacksaw if you don't have an oxy-fuel torch, which is a very helpful tool, but which I really love a lot. But it's not really in focus there. But so you just chop them up with a hacksaw, and then then you just weld them and stuff. You can hammer that. You can just grind that if you wanted to. You don't have to hammer it. I just like to hammer it just because it's a little, I don't know, it makes the head a little wider too. Not by much, but you can see it slightly. And most of this I ground down. As you saw. So most of that I ground down, but then I also heat treated that, like I said. But that's it. Hope you liked it.